No black cats, just straight facts.
Triple P certified.
Listen, we can talk about odds all day. It doesn't matter what the odds are. It matters what's gonna happen.
Pleasure seeing you all here.
Welcome back to the Perfect Play Pursuit. This is for everybody talking shit saying I can't grow a beard and I'm not Christ-like. You know, I was talking to my dad. He said, that ain't Christ-like. I start spazzing at him. You start spazzing at me. Anyway, guys, we got to get into the show. We got a big show here for you guys. You know, we came in.
If you can communicate this product, you can make money off the product.
We came in and we gave you the sphere picks. We're going to recap the Brady card, let you know how we did. As you can see, Alex is the front runner now. Baby won some money. I'm back to baseline, and Dan is keeping his head above water. It's year five. Year five, we all started out with $1,000 bankroll. We were trying to turn $1,000 into an infinite sum of money. And here we are. You know, it's funny. It's been, 4 months. It's been 4 months, and I'm exactly even. Alex has 478 units. He's up 478 units.
I have a question. Dan, why is there a plus next to your amount? Because if you think about the idea of a plus, that would mean that you have $1,042, but in reality, you're down how much? $958?
I'll leave it up to the viewer's imagination. I mean,
I look at it like the zero. I'm kind of with Dan a little bit, but as you can see, I have the yin yang. So I'm at equilibrium. You know, I'm right there. I'm at the waters between heaven and hell right now. But I do have, and I'll read this off to the viewers. I have an active parlay that Mr. Chris Padilla started us off. A multi-event parlay. It's like $20 to win $11,000, and there's only one fight I'm a little bit worried about within this one, and I already have a plan for that. But basically, Chris Padilla started us off. It was Chris Padilla, and then this weekend we have Norma Dumont, Manuel Torres, Diego Lopez, and then we have, now this is where it's going to get complicated for the show because we only do UFC on the show, but this parlay does include a PFL bet, Hernan Ferreira plus 250. Which I'm not worried about at all. He's going to smoke Francis Ngannou. That's the play of the year. Alexander Volkov plus 200. That's the one I'm a little worried about because everything in my head tells me he's going to smoke Cyril Gane. But the French are tricky. Then we got Khamzat Chimaev over Robert Whittaker, which I know Alex will disagree with. Ilia Topuria over Max Holloway, which I know Alex will disagree with. But I'm not worried about those at all. $25 to win $11,299. Right now, they're offering me $35.44 on my $25 wager. So just with the Padilla win. So they already know. DraftKings already knows they want out of this. They're FanDuel, not DraftKings.
I think you should want out of it. And that's a losing parlay. Can we talk about the winning parlay that I had this weekend? Or are we just going to sit here in fantasy land all day?
Take us through it. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
All right. It started out with Chris Padilla, Luke, your boy. You're the only winner on that parlay of yours. Nathan Fletcher, Yanal Ashmus, Steve Garcia, and Sean Brady. A bonus bet, baby. Some fancy accounting in DraftKings got me quite a few bonus bets. Used that bonus bet, turned it into $931.28. Didn't bet much else on the night because I was just watching those fights as a fan. It was a great card. I loved every single fight on it. I had a bunch of fun.
It was not a great card. So let me actually break it down to reality. And I had some winners too. So let me share my screen real quick. The night for me, you know, it's crazy how you can be so right and yet so wrong, right? I mean, zoo wrong, but not zoo wrong. Can you guys see this? Yeah. Okay. So I took a little play. These are some live plays. I took some Santos by decision. Bang. Hit that. Bang. Isaac Dolgarian by submission plus money on a minus 6,000 favorite. Pretty good there. Chris Padilla, you know, underdog, plus 200. And then Garcia by KO. This was a hedge. I hate to say that. That was a hedge because I had basically if Kyle Nelson would have won, I would have been way up, way up. my parlays included him. I was, I don't know what I was thinking, but essentially that was a hedge, so it didn't really help me out at all. But these three right here, Padilla, Bulgarian by sub, and Santos by points. If I had just put the money on those three, we would have been having a whole different conversation. So I hated the main event. I'll just start there. I thought that was one of the most boring fights of all time. The boys from Philly are almost all but dead to me when it comes to Andre Petrovsky, who we'll talk about later, Sean Brady, wimp shit, lame fight, hugging against the cage. Every time I looked up at the screen, these guys are hugging against the cage. Gilbert Burns, since when does that? I mean, he weebles, he wobbles, but he doesn't fall down. He doesn't get taken down. He's a weeble wobble. But Brady, I had the card on mute the whole time. So you guys might need to fill me in on some stuff. But I really, I'm from the Philadelphia area. I have a lot of love for Philly. I went to Baltimore a couple weekends ago and again this past weekend to go to the zoo. And I got to say, Baltimore is a hellhole. Baltimore is worse than Camden, New Jersey. Baltimore is the areas I drove through Baltimore would make Edgar Allan Poe come back to life and jump off the Francis Scott Key Bridge. I mean, he would make a depressed motherfucker go, holy shit, I'm depressed, but I ain't this depressed. I mean, Baltimore is so depressed. Every college friend we have, Dan, that moved to Baltimore and thought they were doing something idiotic, fake city. Baltimore is a fake city. Baltimore is in shambles. It has no actual history. It has no actual food. It has just as much fentanyl junkies as Kensington Ave without a fifth of the charm. It is terrible in every way, shape, and form. It stinks. It's disgusting. I hate Baltimore. They have just as bad of an accent as the Delco region, right? Without the cheesesteaks, without a winning football team, Baltimore sucks, man. Baltimore fucking sucks. If you're from Baltimore, where are you even going to go? You ain't going to go to D.C. So where are you even going to go? Just leave Maryland entirely. There's really no good city in Maryland. You got Annapolis, who can't figure out if they want to be fucking Annapolis thinks it's like, okay, are we trying to be Breckenridge, Colorado, or are we trying to be Brooklyn, New York? It's like, pick a fucking lane, because you can't be both. I hate it all. I'm about ready to leave Maryland. I hate Maryland now.
Baltimore, that Lamar Jackson, I have been a Lamar Jackson fan for a very, very long time. I think that ended on Thursday. I think it's over. That guy cannot throw the ball. He is a running back. All he does is run. He cannot throw the ball at all. He had 2 wide open men in the end zone to win that game twice. And the throw that the guy barely got the toe in was only because Lamar Jackson threw it so far over his head. He had to make a leap. That was unbelievable. An unbelievable leap, which he did 2 plays before, broke his sternum, it looked like, how he got hit.
That guy's such a
Then
fake.
he misses Zay Flowers, easy throw down the middle. That's something I do in NCAA football all day long. You scramble out to the outside. Zay Flowers is right there. Boom, that's a touchdown. Easy. Lamar Jackson misses entirely. And that's not the only time he was missing throws. All that guy can do is run. And I loved Lamar Jackson.
And what did I say? What did I say when you were asking me about Baltimore? I said they have a quarterback problem. And you were like, no. I said they have a quarterback problem. He's undisciplined, low IQ. I got I saw a DoorDash driver. It looked just like Lamar Jackson. And then I was like, oh, this is a woman. This is a Baltimore woman. That's what the women in Baltimore look like. They look like Lamar Jackson with fucking grocery carrying arms, Terrible city, terrible place. I'll never
Didn't
go back.
use Derrick Henry at all. Made me sick to my stomach.
And we have a friend who's a big-time Giants fan, and he told me he drafted Jalen Hurts for his fantasy team. Picks up Jalen Hurts, who throws 2 interceptions and a fumble in the first game of the season, leaves Saquon on the on the roster, and Saquon scores 3 touchdowns. I mean, doesn't get any better for that. Really stomping on his grave there. But this isn't a football show. This is an MMA show, even though we were supposed to have Eric Anders on the show for the 3rd week in a row. He's a busy guy, guys. He'll be here eventually.
He'll be here.
He'll be here eventually. So Sean Brady, bum.
False.
I think he's a bum. I think Sean Brady's a bum.
Crumb bum.
He's a crumb bum. One trick pony. His striking looked pretty good, but only because Gilbert looked so bad. And it's like, Gilbert, you said you were going to knock Sean Brady out. I look at the fucking stats. By round 4, you threw 16 punches. Gilbert Burns, the Burns family, Herbert Burns, Gilbert Burns, soft-hearted pussies, crybaby losers, want to be Mr. Likable, but actually just
Matty Betts, I do not condone any of these statements. These are not my thoughts or opinions, Matty Betts. Please do not loop me in with this buffoonery.
Wait, now you sound like Gilbert Burns, because he said in the post, and he said at the press conference, he was like, "Oh, I don't like being on there with Moicano because I try to be good with all the fighters, and he's being very disrespectful to the fighters." Shut up! You fighters deserve no respect. Pay the fighters less. Cut Gilbert Burns. Put Sean Brady back to the prelims. He shouldn't be on the main event. Gilbert Burns wants to be Mr. Likable. He's really going the route of the Dustin Poiriers, the Robert Whitakers, the Stephen Wonderboy Thompsons, the protect this man at all costs. He's a nice guy. No, you're washed. You're a bum. You cry. You literally cry in the octagon. Your brother cries in the octagon. Your brother quits in the octagon. You got knocked out by a jab in the biggest fight of your life. You're a bum. Gilbert Burns is a bum. And I don't care that your arm went to sleep when you fought Bilal. If you can't beat Bilal Muhammad, in the second biggest fight of your life with one arm, I don't know what to tell you. So anyway, fuck Gilbert Burns, fuck Sean Brady, but fuck even more Andre Petrosky. I'm going to go ahead and say it. Andre Petrosky, lay and pray, bitch. Lay and pray, bitch. What was that? That was pathetic. He's a lay and pray artist. People wanted to talk about George St. Pierre. George St. Pierre is infinitely more exciting than fucking Andre Petrosky, all right? Andre Petrosky is so boring. If that fight were on the Contender Series, which is happening right now and I'm about to win some money on, if that fight were on the Contender Series, you wouldn't make it to the UFC. Joe Pyfer's your daddy. Joe Pyfer's the only exciting fighter out of your whole team. He's the reason any of you guys are getting opportunities. Dana White wants to keep him happy, so he listens to him. He lets his friends play, but really it's the equivalent to having a hot mom that begs all the school bullies to not bully you. You guys are bullyable. Joe Pyfer is not. Joe Pyfer's the man. Brady is a jiu-jitsu boring fighter. Petrosky is a boring gasser, lay and pray artist. And I'm a Tennessee Titans fan. So you guys have made me hate the Eagles now. I want the Eagles to lose every fucking game that they have this year, just so I know Sean Brady and Andre Petrosky are somewhere pissed off. I don't care. Don't talk to me about Penn State. Joe Panu. Move on from fucking Petrosky.
Did you have the under, or did you have?
And what's with the hammer and sickle tattoo? Cover that shit up.
I was thinking
that might as well be a swastika. You know how many fucking bodies that has attached to it? That might as well be a swastika. So if you can't, if Fedor Emelianenko's brother had to cover up his swastika, I want that hammer and sickle covered up. Petrosky, fucking doesn't even know what that means. Hasn't read a book in his life.
So did you have the under or Dylan Budka?
I picked Dylan Budka on the show, but once I saw how bad the weigh-in miss was, I was like, I picked Petrosky. No problem. But I did throw a little spot on, I said, hey, this guy looked like shit on the scales. Petrosky's Mr. Jiu-Jitsu. He's Mr. Wrestler. He's just my dad went to Penn State. I wasn't smart enough. My dad went there. So I'm like, all right, cool. We'll throw a little bit on Andre Petrosky by submission here. And just watching him.
Oh, so that's where.
Watching him not even fucking try to get a submission the entire time.
That's
Perfectly comfortable, boring us all to tears. You're boring. All right. And hey, I'm right. So.
I was going to say, this is like authentic, genuine hatred because he didn't even affect your pocket, your bottom line. But it went full circle and we did get back to Petrosky sub bet gone awry.
I was super disappointed because while they were making the announcements, I was checking my phone, and that was the first time I had seen Dylan Budka winking and blinking and almost falling asleep on the scale. And I had put Dylan Budka in my parlay. And I was like, oh, great, this is losing. The second I saw it, I knew. I was like, oh, great, we're done for. But, yeah. You
get knocked out by a hip, and then you fucking pull that bullshit? No. Fuck that. I don't want to see him ever again.
Why didn't Dylan Budka throw his hip out there to defend some of those takedowns? Maybe if he sprawled once, he could have knocked him unconscious. Not even just stopped the takedown, but end the entire fight. All you have to do is sprawl.
Nathan Fletcher can go fuck himself too. I'm so sick of that
Oh,
accent.
fuck you. No way. I told you for so long. I've been shouting Nathan
Yeah, he would have
Fletcher's
lost if he showed up to fight the first time. He would have fucking lost. And then you give anybody a fucking. It's like 21. It's like, oh, you want to pick this door? You want to switch your door? Oh,
they both pulled out. They both pulled out.
No,
one fight after another.
Bullshit.
Yeah, the other guy pulled out of his fight on the Ultimate Fighter medically. They're both medically inept.
Yeah. Vanessa Demopoulos, dumbass. Shut up. Stop crying. Shut up, Vanessa. Shut up. Nobody cares. I hope she grabbed your hair. I hope she grabbed and gave you a wedgie. I don't give a fuck. Oh, are you grabbing my gloves? Shut the fuck up.
She wasn't even grabbing him. She wasn't even. In all honesty.
Who cares if she was? I hope she was.
At most, this much of that little tiny woman's finger was in the glove. Literally. One digit. You wouldn't feel that if it went up your asshole. Okay. So you want to tell me that matters whatsoever with the glove? She wasn't whole finger deep. It was literally right here, ladies and gentlemen. And that lady's hands are definitely not as massive as mine. Okay. So that is even smaller. That's on an even smaller scale. Vanessa Demopoulos crying, yelling at the camera. That's what happens when you put a stripper on camera, ladies and gentlemen. That's why they don't allow cameras in strip clubs, because that's how they act.
And listen, Vanessa Demopoulos, aka VD, aka venereal disease. When you are a woman in a fight, we've all seen YouTube. We've all seen TikTok. When you are a woman in a fight, they're grabbing hair, they're grabbing clothes, they're grabbing everything. So even if she was, let's say in a fucking fictitious universe, she was grabbing your glove, she's grabbing 1% of what would have happened to you in the street against a commoner, and you still couldn't defend it and cried. So what are you going to do in the streets? Nothing. This is the ultimate fighting championship, okay? If you're a fighter, you should be like, I want there to be no rules, not crying to the ref and breaking your focus. So shut up.
Finished the other arm. She didn't even finish the arm that she put the finger in the glove of. She finished the other arm exactly. So it really didn't do anything at all.
Now I got a question. Luke, you notoriously don't watch with sound. How did you find out that she was crying to the refs?
I could see it. I could read her lips. I swear to God, I wasn't watching with sound. I was not watching with sound.
Okay.
Now, occasionally, if something like that happens, I will unmute for a second just to hear what's going on.
So do you swear to God you weren't watching with sound?
The commentary. I don't hate the sounds of the punches and the kicks. I don't hate the fighters talking in the ring. I hate the commentary.
No, I understand the reason for the muting, but I just was confused how you. Yeah. As they
I unmuted for Cody Durden's post-fight speech too. I unmute for certain post-fight speeches too, you know.
Right. Okay. Did you hear then right before the post-fight speech, as the referees bring them to the center, do the fist raise for the winner, she looks at the camera before this all happens, goes, "Sorry guys, I don't know what to fucking do. She broke the fucking rules."
Yeah. I was like, shut the fuck up, Vanessa. And then Yiza in the next fight. Listen, I'm gonna get a little nationalistic. Don't mistake my nationalism for racism here. I have many Chinese friends. My best friend grooms them in a wedding, Chinese. But when it comes to the nation of China and the fighters they bring over here to try to beat our American boys or our Brazilian boys, our South Americans, whatever you want to call it, I'm always against China. I love seeing especially, and even more so than the nation of China losing. I like seeing folks who never leave a regional level of competition and get a lot of fucking padded wins go down, right? So I like seeing people get doses of reality. I like when people test themselves even before they make it to the big leagues. And Yiza getting his ass handed to him was amazing. I love seeing the Chinese fighters come in to the UFC, lose to our American badasses like Chris Padilla, and cry about it too, right? Love seeing them talking shit, putting their arms out, trying to like taunt, but being completely battered like Yiza, or fucking acting like you got poked in the eye 3 different times. Initially,
wait, I thought Rong Zhu was the one who fought Padilla.
Rong Zhu did fight Padilla. Yiza fought Santos. I'm talking about Yiza got his ass handed to him and was like talking shit. And then fast forward, you got Rong Zhu. He gets elbowed in the eye. He tries calling the ref in. You can't call your own fouls. Stop with the calling your own fouls. If you hit in the nuts, you get poked in the eye and the ref doesn't see it, that's it. You don't call your own fouls. If you call your own foul, it should be like when Tafa screamed out in pain. Fight's over. If you call your own foul, the fight is fucking over. That's my opinion. So,
especially if they review it and it wasn't a foul.
Oh, if they review it and it wasn't a foul, it's definitely over. But I'm just saying that the ref is making split-second decisions, and if you halt the momentum by calling your own foul, if a guy doesn't actually, if he punches you in the eyeball and you think it's an eye poke and you make the ref stop it, and now he can't finish that sequence and it was a punch, fight's off. Fight's off. It wasn't a foul. You took that risk. If it was an eye poke, fair enough. Make the fight go on still. But if it ends up not being, fight's over. That's the risk you take. So Yiza gets dapped up by our boy Chris Padilla. Loved seeing it.
Wrong zoo.
Sorry, wrong zoo.
I thought Wrong Zoo looked super impressive in there. He won the first round, in my opinion. Wrong Zoo was looking really tough. He didn't want that fight to be called. I just think it hit him so hard. He thought it had to be something that touched like a finger in his eye. He was just so shaken up. He had no idea what happened. So, you know, I give credit to Wrong Zoo. He looked really good out there. And I'm actually not going to fade him in his next fight. I'm going to pick him in his next fight. He is definitely going to fight somebody worse than Chris Padilla. Chris Padilla is a bad boy, and Wrong Zoo is going to kick their ass.
Yeah, he looked good. It looked like he was throwing with a lot of power. I mean, he was tough enough for me. He didn't go to the ground.
I was worried there. I was worried about Chris Padilla.
And you didn't even see after the fact. He tried calling the ref the first time, and then once they kind of resumed action, he looked at Chris Padilla. He was like, "You poked me in the eye." Like, he even did a little bit of that. So I don't want to hear it.
Kind of girly, but besides that, I mean, he was looking like a good fighter, entertaining fighter.
Yeah.
Listen, I mean, he was going to the pocket. He was going in the pocket, ready to throw blows with not a lot of attention to his defenses. So, he's a fun fighter, and I don't think he's wussing out by any means.
Andre Lima, Felipe Dos Santos, and these guys from Charles Oliveira's camp, they look confused in there. I'll just say that they look like they look like they were training for a different sport. They come in and they're just constant. They have this like look on them. It's like, man, this is not what I expected. All of them. So Charles Oliveira, you suck. Your whole fucking team sucks.
Even Ian Gary versus Michael Venom Page. He had no idea what was going on in there the entire time.
Charles Oliveira's a locker room cancer.
If we're gonna get on Petrosky for laying and praying, what about the Andre Lima fight? I mean.
Yeah,
this is a big time lane, right?
But Dos Santos, you train with Charles Oliveira. Either don't get taken down or throw up some submissions. Do something. He was doing nothing. You know what I mean?
But Dylan Budka is like a wrestling-based fighter.
And he was training for the Olympics. They said he was training for the Olympics.
I'm training for
where in his garage.
I'm training for breakdancing, like the Australian chick. I'm training to beat the Australian chick in breakdancing. Listen. Dos Santos sucks, but yeah, you're right. Lima had him in full mount for all of like 3 minutes and couldn't posture up and get one punch landed. So fuck
no attempts at any submissions from mount. No ground pound, nothing.
But nobody stinks more than Brandon Mariot and Tyson Chartier. You should be arrested. You should be put in jail for the negligence you are exhibiting as a coach. You send a guy in there and he's a plus 7 million underdog because nobody believes in you and nobody believes in your team. And what happens? It looks exactly like we all thought it would. You didn't prove anything. You didn't surprise anybody. Your fighters shouldn't be in the UFC. All you're good at is teaching guys how to take a beating. Tyson Chartier, I formally challenge you to celebrity boxing. I may just dojo storm you, sign the waiver, and see what's up. Don't try to sig Rob Font on me either, because I'll double leg him into fucking next century.
Pizza boy.
Yeah, pizza boy. I'll fucking double leg Rob Font and dump him on his head like fucking Bilal Muhammad did Leon. So don't even try to stick Rob Font on me. Yeah. Calvin Cater, he's fucking looking for a pair of Velcro shoes after what Max Holloway did to him. So, and Giga Chikadze, a fight he won, he still took 500 shots to the head. You should be ashamed of yourself. You should be arrested for negligence, for impersonating a head coach. But everybody in Boston is just as dumb as everybody in Baltimore, and they will never think twice about it because they think, you guys are some Boston strongmen. You guys should be all in bare knuckle fight league, taking losses there too. Piece of shit, Tyson Chartier. Piece of fucking shit. And I picked Bulgarian by submission, so I know more than you, Tyson Chartier. I knew how the fight was going to go. We didn't even need to waste time. What do we got here? What do we got here?
Trevor versus Ash Moose is the only one we didn't touch on.
What?
Peak versus Ash Moose is the only one we
Beast
didn't touch
versus
on.
Ash Moose,
Besides the lady fight.
Frustrating fight.
Well, the thing about Trevor Peak is he's got a lot of the things going for him, but it's this one little connective tissue that he's missing. I really think he could do great things. I think that he can really I think he could be as good as like a Colby Covington almost, but I just think that it's just never going to happen because his mentality is never going to allow him, like the things that make him strong in a fight also allow him to get into these positions where he spends time defending in areas where other guys who are less worried about putting on a show succeed a little bit more. So, I kind of saw it going that way. I saw all things equal, Ash Moose being able to dominate in the grappling control areas just slightly. And all it takes is just slightly if you can't create space and separate. It's like, yeah, maybe he's not doing damage, but neither are you, and he's controlling.
He was doing some damage in there. He rocked Trevor Peak in the first round, didn't he?
Yeah, exactly. So it's
he wobbled him.
You get a competent striker, which they all, it's a lot easier to be a competent striker than it is to be a competent grappler, So I think that there's always going to be those holes. Trevor Peak needs to be able to defend the takedowns 100,000%.
But he looked good.
He looked great. I thought he looked really great. Matt Schnell, Cody Durden, Alex, come on. Alex is out here saying, oh, Cody Durden got knocked out. I said, Alex, Cody Durden is so stupid. He doesn't give a fuck that he just got knocked out. He has no self-preservation instincts, which is what I like to see. It's not going to matter,
And he almost did get knocked out, and I would have been so happy.
I had Durden by finish. Durden by finish was like plus 100, easiest play of the night. Schnell, his nickname's Danger. He literally puts himself into danger, and Durden looked so fucking good in his last fight up until he got knocked out. Schnell doesn't pose that same stopping power that can put a guy like Durden away. It was so easy for me. Durden by finish was written all over the walls. Your guy, Steve Garcia, got the win. Let's talk a little bit about Steve Garcia real quick, because that was an illegal elbow. You want to get mad about the glove grabbing? He fucking elbowed him in the back of the head. Even on mute, I saw that. And even on mute, I saw the instant hematoma. I mean, that should have been a no contest.
Listen, that's incidental contact when you're shelling up, turtling around like
you're
a
in
little
transition, maybe, but not.
He was moving his head around, trying to defend against the punches from underneath. And when he was switching over the top, he was trying to put the back of the head into the elbows so that way he couldn't hit him. That's what all these fighters do. They go like this, and then they sit there, and whatever side the elbow comes to, they move their back of the head to it. That is just called being an idiot. Okay, all these fighters do it. They think it's a safety spot. I'm glad Steve Garcia made soup with it. Maybe less of these guys are gonna go in there and wiggle their head around until they get hit in the back of the head, and the ref calls it and gives them a no contest, a la Cody.
I really thought I thought Steve Garcia might win. So I hedged in two ways. I hedged on Steve Garcia by points and Steve Garcia by knockout. I was able to do so because I had so many parlays still active with Nelson included. And so if Nelson won, I would have been fine. And if Steve Garcia won by knockout, I was kind of in like a situation where I wasn't going to win any money. I was going to just mitigate some losses. But if Steve Garcia won by decision, which I thought Kyle Nelson, the monster, I thought he was tough enough to stick in there for 3 rounds and just maybe take a striking beat down over Garcia. Even though Garcia's a finisher, I just was like, nah, Nelson can take it. That was 60 to win 660. That would have been really good. That would have put me in a great position. Garcia was plus 1,000 to win by decision. So I had to take a look at that. But other than that, Andrade versus Silva. Andrade apparently going through a horrible divorce. All her money is either lost on her manager or lost on her attorneys or lost on her ex. And then you see her go in there. She's got a coven of women giving her hugs and kisses before the fight. I go, I thought you learned your lesson, Andrade. I thought maybe we'd see her coming in with a fucking, some kind of like
Andrade did come in big pimping. She came in there big pimping.
She better not marry these ladies. She better fucking learn her lesson though, because I mean you can't afford it.
And now we don't love these hoes. And now Andrade, we don't love these hoes.
Yeah. So that's all I need to say. If you guys have some other things to say, I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick, and then we'll do some touch-ups on the Sphere. Make sure oh, shit, it's 9 o'clock, Dan. I'm sorry. We probably don't have too much to touch up on the Sphere, but
It's all good.
We're supposed to have Eric Anders on the show this week. He bailed at the last second. He said, "Can we do tomorrow?" I said, "We can't do tomorrow. Really, no, not really. Next week, we do the show every week, so he's always got an open seat at this table." The more
one of
times,
these days he'll fill it.
the more times that he pushes us off, the more I'm gonna fucking disrespect Chris Weidman, and we're gonna have to. I mean, we're gonna have to get this. I want him to disrespect Chris Weidman. I want him to put a finger in Chris's chest. I want Chris Weidman's homecoming retirement quinceañera to go so poorly at Madison Square Garden, as poorly as it's gone in all the other times to him at Madison Square Garden. I need him to know that this shit ain't a Sweet 16, Chris Weidman. Go home to your wife. Go home to your kids. You've had enough attention in your fucking life, and we're sick of it. We're sick of everybody. Chris Weidman, the All-American. You don't need any more fucking bar mitzvahs, Chris. All right, we're done with you. This is a fighting man's game. This ain't shit. This ain't. Let me have a fairy tale ending. There's no fairy tale fucking endings in the UFC. They give Tony Ferguson, they feed his ass to fucking Paddy the Baddy. They feed fucking Nate Diaz to Hamzat Chimaev, or at least try. They feed Nate Diaz to Leon Edwards. But what they're giving Chris Weidman, Bruno Silva, Brad Tavares, all these softies, and now they think Eric Anders is going to be an easy matchup, and I'm going to get a fire lit under Eric Anders' ass. I'm going to say, you stomp a fucking mud hole in Chris Weidman.
Yeah.
They think you're the easy fight.
Dude, I can't wait to get on next week. This is going to be awesome. We're going to pump him up.
Guys, I'm going to say, Eric, they think you're the easy fight. What do you got to say about that? It's going to be a Matan Evans interview. All right, I got to go. I'll be right back.
Hell yeah. Dude, I'm pumped for that. He got me going. I'm not even in the fight. But, dude, yeah. I love Eric Anders. Can't wait to have him on the show. I was not on the episode where he was on, unfortunately. So this will be my first time interacting with him. I can't wait to talk about, because I remember this clear as day. It was the night before Christmas. No, the night before the Eagles won the Super Bowl. He headlined a main event against who, Alex? Super Bowl weekend.
Lyoto Machida.
Very good. Yes, Lyoto Machida. And I remember thinking, like, man, this guy, what a big jump. Like, this must be so, what's the word? Kimset, that, he got dropped from the NFL. It's Super Bowl weekend, but he's headlining in his new career, his new profession, actually one that he's really getting paid now, against the legend himself, Lyoto Machida. How cool was that? Now, he lost in a split, but, man, I mean, he definitely has that fight poster in his home, Big deal.
Poetic. Serendipitous. I don't know which word you were looking for, but
Sometimes it works.
This is going to be. I don't even know. What are you saying? Kinseth?
Kimset.
Kismet.
Kinsip?
Liquid
Kismet.
Something like that. I don't know.
Hamzat Chimaev is going to beat Robert Whittaker. Okay. The Sphere, we already gave our breakdowns, but there's no changes. So
what do you guys think about the Mexican movie that we are going to be watching alongside of the fights?
Dude, I bet it sucks. Dana is already hedging his bets. He's like, here's what's intriguing about this. We don't know if it's going to suck. We don't know if it's going to be the best thing we've ever seen. So it's like, all right, so it sucks. And it's not going to, it was never going to be fun for us. The 99% of people who aren't going to actually be there. It's not going to be fun. It's going to be a pay-per-view card that's lesser than most pay-per-view cards. The main event's kind of cool. There's some fun matchups, but like overall, it's not a great pay-per-view card, and we're going to get zero fun out of the Sphere. So I was never really excited as far as that aspect of it. And I bet that even the people who go there say it's dog shit. That's my take.
Well, I think everybody's going to say it's dog shit regardless. Everybody's on this hating Dana White train. I will admit I'm not impressed with a lot of the cards as of late, but Dana White's the man, and fuck it. It's something new, dude. We do the same shit all the time. Yeah, you hear $18 million sunk into nothing, really, and you start to wonder, like, Craig Jones and CJI versus the Abu Dhabi combat competition. And, you wonder, it's like, is $18 million worth it? Like you were just complaining about $100,000 bonus a couple weeks ago. So, I don't know. I hope it's cool. The card's gonna be fun, regardless. I feel like it's going to be a fun card, but I don't know if it's going to be worth all the hype.
And here's the thing, like the Mexican love letter thing. First of all, if I hear that phrase one more time, I'm gonna vomit. It's like, how many times do I have to hear Mexican love letter? But I understand you want to pack the card with all Mexican fighters, and like definitely do that to an extent. But you could have made the card so much better. Just stack it up with really good fights. Some of them probably would have Mexican fighters, but it's like you're doing the worst of both worlds, because even with you being so hell bent on making the majority of the card Mexican fighters, in praise of the whatever it is, Mexican New Year or whatever, the main event doesn't even feature a Mexican fighter. So it's like you're losing in both worlds here.
It has 2 Mexican fighters.
No, it does not.
They couldn't. I thought you were going to say the 99% of us who aren't Mexican.
That was a previous take. I'm talking about the sphere then. I'm talking about the card itself now.
Well, here's what I'll say.
Who's on it?
I'm kind of, my gears are turning here, and I'm kind of feeling like Merab is going to win.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking about jumping ship from O'Malley. So if we're going to talk about touch-ups, it just seems too match made in heaven for the UFC. Is always, think about this, right? Dana White, WMEIMG. Who are they? Hollywood. Who is Hollywood? Let's do a little Jersey Jerry here, okay? The signs. Hollywood is the devil.
Okay.
The devil.
Okay.
So you got, no matter how you look at Hollywood, you got, all, the stars on the Walk of Fame, the stars.
Yes.
What are they actually? Pentagrams.
Oh.
And when you look into it.
Now, you got all these pentagrams. You got Hollywood. You got the Hollywood boy. What's Sean O'Malley have on his face?
Star.
Pentagram. Sean O'Malley. What does he do? A lot. Polyamory. Smoking weed. Allegedly on both accounts. Hanging out with the Nelk boys. He is corrupting the youth. He is doing CIA level psyops on the youth to get them to be more promiscuous, more drug ridden. What do we know about the fighting gods? Pure, Valhallic, pagan, sun worshipping, son of God, Christ, Christian. Okay, so we know
Georgian
that
flag.
when they put Nate Diaz
Cross.
in there, what?
Georgian flag, cross.
We know that when they put Nate Diaz in there against Hamzat Chimaev, we know that if there's one person who is pure-hearted, who is an innocent, who is there to represent the Valhallic spirit of the fighting gods, it's Nate Diaz and the Diaz brothers, right? They're artists. The way that they communicate, the way that they articulate fighting, they are the every time they tried to make Nate Diaz a sacrificial lamb, whether it was against Conor McGregor the first time, whether it was against Hamzat Chimaev, it always ended up the same thing.
Hey, I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
So my theory here is Dana White partnered with Abu Dhabi or, Turk Al-Sheikh, right? Got the money, which is something he said he would never do. Co-promotion, to the point where co-promotion interfered with one of the greatest fights we could have ever seen, Brock Lesnar versus Fedor Emelianenko for the UFC heavyweight title. Pound for pound best fighter in the world, undefeated Fedor Emelianenko at the time. Brock Lesnar, UFC undisputed heavyweight champion. And what stepped in the way of that was Dana White's uncompromising belief in not co-promoting with M1 Global. So
he got the taste of it with the McGregor boxing fight. That was his first co-promotional taste. He was like,
And, he broke his own code now to bring this Sphere card into existence. He's doing...
He co-promoted with Pride back in the day and got Chuck Liddell knocked out in Pride, and it was bad for the product as well.
Yeah.
that.
And so Dana has now he has sold his own code out, which the fighting gods do not like. So that in a selfish way, as people have said, it's like almost to do all of this stuff for Hollywood. Oh, we're bringing in Emmy award winning and Grammy award winning and Oscar award winning directors and blah blah blah. Shit, none of us give a flying fuck about. We would, that doesn't matter. I'd rather have Shaq replace Paul Felder as the commentator that night than anything. You know what I mean? I'd rather have, if you want to bring Hollywood into it, put some motherfuckers in the seat and make it the stuff we're actually going to see and hear and be a part of, right? So Dana broke his own code. He involved Muslim oil money. He involved, which is,
Nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with Muslim oil money, in my opinion.
But
whatever Luke is about to say, I also do not condone or mimic.
If Hollywood is not Jesus. We've agreed. The Muslims are also, not what it's not Christian. Let's just say that. Can we say that it's not Christian?
The Quran says Jesus is named 23 times.
The number 23, Jim Carrey. 33 vertebrae in your spine. 33 years in Christ's life. Back to Christ. Okay, so. I think that just like we saw with Bilal Muhammad beating Leon Edwards and Dana was all butthurt that morning, I think just like we see, oftentimes not oftentimes, but every once in a blue moon, we see everything the UFC tries to do go up in fucking flames. And I am just smelling left and right. At first I thought it was going to be that Merab ends up not being able to fight and they have to do something different. But that would actually benefit the UFC. If they had to bring, Ilia Topuria, Max Holloway, somebody in to fight Sugar Sean instead of Merab, it would actually probably make it a better card. But so how can it go awry? It can go awry if Merab goes in there with his staff, with his cut, and picks Sugar Sean's skinny little twig legs up and dumps him on his fucking ass in front of his own corner for 5 fucking rounds. And then I got to thinking, Sugar Sean, much like a Israel Adesanya, brand guy, side deal guy, side hustle guy, not making a lot of money outside of
side girl guy,
side guy, side man.
Kai Cenat, sidemen, shout out.
Sugar Sean, better. Jake Paul, Sugar Sean, Jake Paul, friendly. Sugar Sean, Aiden Ross. Who is a worse gambler than Drake? Aiden Ross. Who loses more money trying to bet on the UFC than Aiden Ross? Drake, baby. It's tie. Aiden Ross said he'd buy he's betting big on Sugar Sean. Said he'd buy Sugar Sean a pink Tesla Cybertruck if he wins. I can just see Aiden Ross furious at a fight. He thinks Sugar Sean won, but the judges give to Merab. I can see Merab getting this fucking win. Merab is stubborn if nothing else, hard-headed if nothing else, and none of this distractionary bullshit it's gonna do nothing but motivate a Georgian like Merab. Merab is not gonna come in there going like Jose Aldo versus Conor McGregor. He's not gonna.
No, he's gonna go in there like Arman Sarukian and try to fight somebody in the stands before the fights even start.
He's gonna go in there not like Jose Aldo went in there against McGregor, but instead he's gonna go in there like I think he's gonna go in there with steam coming out of his fucking ears, like when Stipe fought Francis that first time, and he's gonna take him down, hold him down, take him down again, and I think Sugar Sean is going to be frustrated. I think he's going to be off of his timing. I think that the distraction of the sphere and the promotion, and I also think Sugar Sean wants to lose. I think Sugar Sean would much rather not cut the weight to 145. He's been talking about Ilya. He's been talking about everybody but fucking the guy in front of him for a very long time. And I think that Sugar Sean's money is set no matter what happens. If he wins or loses, he's set. I think Sugar Sean doesn't see another contender outside of Merab at 145. What, are they going to give him Diego Lopez after he fucking runs a buzzsaw through Brian Ortega's ass? No. Sugar Sean's got nothing left to do at 135. Well, I'm mixing up weight classes now, but you get what I'm saying. 135, Sugar Sean has nothing left to do. And I think that there's behind the scenes stuff that we don't see. And listen, it's a game of inches, it's a game of centimeters. If you have a little bit of a backup plan in your mind, if you have that college degree safety net that says, even if I lose this title, I'm probably fighting for a title at the weight class above with less of a weight cut, more hype, more pay-per-views, more everything. Conor McGregor, you know what I mean? Inching closer up to that 155 mark. I think that we are going to see a demotivated Sugar Sean and an endlessly motivated Merab Dvalishvili. I'm formally switching my pick. I'm Triple P certifying Sugar Sean. That's what you came here to see, everybody. That's what you came here to know. That's what we promised you, the touch-ups. I am going with Merab, and I'm laying a heavy bet on Merab to win the fight by decision.
I'll be looking into maybe
plus 110 on FanDuel.
It's plus 110 for decision?
No. For Merab to win. Method of victory. Merab by points is plus 165, so I won't be betting that at all. That's not enough.
No, not enough at all.
I'd sooner go Merab by submission, 19-1. Hell, Merab by KO. I mean, if he, they'll never stop. They'll never stop it. But I mean, a ground and pound. Maybe he opens up a cut on Sugar Sean. But I'm formally switching. It's Merab plus 110 money line. I'd say I'm gonna go Merab, and I'm gonna go Merab. I'm going to go Manuel Torres. I'm not going to parlay those two together. I'll have a solo bet on Manuel Torres. I'm going Merab, and I'm going Diego Lopez. That gets you plus 226. I'm going $350 to win $800 on Merab and Diego Lopez. $350 to win $800. That'll put me almost to the double mark of, and I'm not doing too many other bets. I'm doing a perfect parlay. I'm going to do, the $20 parlay on 5 of them, and I'm doing $350 on Diego and putting those winnings on Merab, and we're calling it a fucking night.
It's a chalky card, so I don't hate where you're going with this.
I'm staying away from Grasso versus Shevchenko, even though we know when you rematch for a championship, the younger fighter wins. The fighter who won the fight the first time wins, and they win more dominantly. I think Grasso smokes Shevchenko. So I might even do something with that too, but we'll probably just do.
All right, guys. And here's how Luke goes into betting way more money than what he just said, is because he was like, that ladies fight, I'm not touching it, but actually Grasso is going to beat the shit out of her, so I'm gonna dump the truck on Grasso too.
No. I'm gonna go Torres, Grasso, Lopez, Dvalishvili. Two fight parlays. If they both win, we're killing it. If one of them wins, we're doing just fine. Everything else is trivial.
All right. Well, all of my picks are staying the same as far as I know. I'm going Raul Rosas Jr., Joshua Van, Yasmin Uruguay, Manuel Torres, Norma Dumas, Ronald Rodriguez, Daniel Zellhuber, Diego Lopes, Alexa Grasso, and Sean O'Malley. I'm not switching. I'm staying convicted. Oh, not in that way.
You sticking with Ketlin Souza over Uruguay?
I never took Ketlin Souza over Uruguay.
Yeah, you did last week. So we're totally certifying Uruguay is what you're saying.
I'm going back to Ketlin Souza.
Okay. You're sticking with Josh Van. I might switch to Josh Van actually too. I'm gonna switch.
Cody
to
Durden
Joshua.
Inspired you? Yeah,
I'm gonna switch to Joshua Van. He's too stupid, just like Cody Durden's too stupid. He's not gonna care that he got knocked out recently. I'm gonna go with Van. I'll triple B certify Van. So that means triple B certified picks: Joshua Van, Raul Rosas Jr., Diego Lopez, Ronaldo Rodriguez, Alexa Grasso, and that's it.
Unless Dan has any switches.
Nah, I got Raul Rosas Jr., I got Joshua Van, I got Yasmin, Bahamondes, Aldana, Rodriguez. Honestly, I don't even remember what I did for this one. It's been such a toss-up for me. I'll go with Esteban Ribovic. That might be a change for me.
No, you picked him last week. Week.
Yep, that's where I'm leaning. We're going Lopez. We're going Grasso. We're going Sean O'Malley.
And Ronaldo Rodriguez for you too, Dan? Over Osborne?
Yes.
Yep. And the one thing I will say is that I have Dumont. I am a little nervous about that one, but I'm going to stick with her. That's a hope. That's not,
Irene Aldana's like 38 years old.
Yeah. She's just too thin. But the women.
Aldana's not that thin.
The lady fights, you never know what to expect with these. I wish I didn't include that on my $25 to win 11,000 parlay. It is on there. So, maybe I bet 5,000. I bet 5,000 on Aldana.
I damn near win $1,000 off of a free bet, and we opened the pot up with. I'm 1 out of 11 toward $11,000. Let's go.
Did you read through your full winning bet?
I did.
Okay. Well, folks, that's the show this week. Sorry we couldn't bring you boy, but I hope we gave you enough content. I hope you enjoyed my epic go off rant. I think I
clip that part. Chat, clip that Lukey epic rant, please.
Me and Sean Brady have mutuals. We have mutual friends, so I can't even really I can't go to certain horseshoe tournaments now at this point with what I said. But I hope that I hope it all is okay. I mean, I'll give him one more chance, but he that was a boring fight. That's all I gotta say. All right.
I don't give a fuck.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I don't think we're getting invited to any horseshoe tournaments regardless.
That's fair.
Because of our performance at the last one.
Yeah, me and Alex, we were, when we were wrestling around like pigs in the mud. I keep getting into these situations. How do I keep how do I always end up here?
I let the pig pull me into the mud, and now I'm ostracized.
I mean, I've been getting muddy lately. My knees are battered and bruised, but listen.
You're the problem.
I keep having dreams that Dana White is mentoring me. I've had 2 now where Dana White is the last one. He was like, I don't even want to say what he was telling me, but he was, but yeah, it was.
I can only fucking imagine.
Was it some advice that he might have given someone on vacation with his wife? Very mad at her.
It was close. It was close, but believe it or not, it was worse. So, love you, Dana. Rescue us from obscurity. You got Nina drama. You got fucking the schmo. We got better looks, and we're better fighters, and we're more charismatic than both of them. So,
say it with your chest.
Put me in the truck. Put me in one of those 3 trucks. I want to be in the truck. I'll be like, cut to this camera. Cut to this camera. Cut to Mackenzie Dern in the audience. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining the show. We love you so much. And let us know what you think of this episode. And let us know what you think about my take on Hollywood and Merab and all that jazz. So enjoy.
And feel free to get some debate arguments. I know the debates tonight. Take your debate arguments right into the comment section of this video. Yell at each other all you want. It'll be fun.
It will be fun. All right. We love you guys. Thank you all so, so much. And enjoy UFC at the Sphere. We'll be back on Monday or Tuesday, maybe or maybe not, with Eric Anders. Thank you. And sayonara. Happy trails.